Hello, my friend. Good day. So in this video, I want to introduce you to one of my life philosophies, and it also explains how I approach my work, how I approach productivity and getting things done, how I approach my day-to-day life. And that is a concept that is living well is a form of sailing and not rowing. Many successful people succeed in spite of themselves. They struggled mightily to accomplish the things that they did because they simply knew no other way. It was very hard. It was very difficult. Every day was a struggle, but they succeeded in spite of all the adversity and hardship. Being a writer myself, having written several books, I can tell you that so many writers have sacrificed so much in their lives to create the work that they did. They created a piece of literature that everyone loves or a novel that everyone loves, but their personal life is an absolute mess, a disaster. Similarly, we're also led to believe that entrepreneurs, CEOs, successful and famous people that we admire all managed to succeed by sacrificing some aspect of their life, such as their family life. You know, they were absent for their kids' bar mitzvah or their kid's birthday, and they weren't a good spouse because they were so focused on their careers. So an example might be Tom Brady. You know, his wife was frustrated because he's so obsessed with football that she decided that it was time to move on because he couldn't leave football behind, and she wanted to be number one, but football was always going to be number one. So let's go back to the metaphor of sailing versus rowing, right? Both are different ways to get yourself to the destination that you want to reach. One method requires a tremendous amount of energy, a tremendous amount of willpower, and effort. And the second one requires no energy. It's essentially effortless, doesn't require a lot of willpower. You just go easily and you still get to your destination. Both methods take you to where you want, but one method is much more difficult than the other. And I believe that this is the way that life works as well. It doesn't have to be a struggle. We should be able to happily achieve rather than needing to achieve to be happy. We shouldn't have to struggle and to sacrifice, to force ourselves to sit down and to write, to force ourselves to get to work, to accomplish the things that we need to do, to push ourselves to get the things done on our to-do list or to make progress towards our goals. We should be able to flow rather than to row. We should be excited to do the creative work, to call the people that we need to call, to make the effort that's needed to accomplish our goals. I believe that everything works better this way, and this is what I hope you will be able to achieve for yourself after you finish this course. That you'll be able to take all of your energy, all of your creativity, all of your knowledge, and be able to harness it and let it flow rather than forcing it. Similarly, let's go back to this metaphor that we're back in our boat and we're sailing across the ocean. You may be headed to a destination that's so far away that you can't actually see it. You can only, on this given day, at this moment, you can only see to the next horizon. You cannot see to your ultimate destination, which is your goal, which is your dream, the place that you want to be. And I believe that this is exactly how it works when it comes to life and to our goals and what we need to do. The destination that we cannot see, our goal, is basically like our expectation. If we focus on it, we cannot see it, and it seems so far away that we might convince ourselves that we will never reach it. It just seems too unrealistic and too impractical, too far away, and as a result, we get stuck in our little boat in the middle of the sea. We become victim to the currents tossing us around into the storms, maybe capsizing our ship, and never really get any closer to our destination. And so I think that's where a lot of people actually get stuck. They can't see themselves as that successful person who's living out their dreams. So they figure, why even bother? Why sail to the next horizon? Because they'll never actually reach that place. Many of my friends have confided in me that they are disappointed with themselves. They feel a lot of disappointment and shame because of these expectations that they have set for themselves that they feel like they are not living up to. And I think that the solution is very simple. There's something that's better than expectations. And what's better than expectations is harnessing your intuition. So intuition is like the wind that pushes your sails forward. it always knows what the next thing is that you have to do. It always knows the next step, the next action that you have to take. Another way to think of it is like going up a dark staircase. You can't really see 10 or 20 steps above you in the staircase. Like let's imagine that it's a winding staircase and you can't really see. It's dark, but that's what everyone tries to do. They only see 20 steps ahead. But our intuition knows what is the next step. What are the next 2 steps, maybe the next 3 steps that will get us closer to that goal. And those are exactly the steps that you need to take now. So if you listen to your intuition, it's much easier than trying to meet these expectations, which you don't even know how to get to in the first place. And if you try to jump 20 steps ahead when you have no clue, you're just going to fall on your face. And of course, you are going to be disappointed and frustrated. And so this also begs the question, how do we better develop our intuition? I mean, there's a lot of things we can do like meditation, silence retreats and so forth so that we can listen to our minds. But I think that there's also ways that we can actively develop our intuition. I think it's very important to listen to our intuitions and know how to follow it in life. So how can we better listen to these inner voices? How can we proactively listen to these inner voices and use them for creative problem solving? Carl Jung tells us that until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct our lives and we will call it fate. So most of our lives are actually directed by deeper states of consciousness, and very few of us actually realize this. I firmly believe that the doorways to our subconscious minds are available to us in the 20 to 30 minutes before and after we fall asleep at night. So the human brain has 5 brainwave states. These are beta, alpha, theta, delta, and gamma. And we spend most of our waking lives in the first state, which is the beta state. When we wake up from sleep, we're transitioning from the deeper states into an alpha state, which is considered like the doorway to the subconscious mind. So as we go to sleep, we are entering the doorway to the subconscious mind. As we wake up, we are exiting the gateway to the subconscious mind. So after I wake up, I always find that I have the most fascinating insights immediately after I awake. And my mind is suddenly full of all kinds of thoughts that I never would have consciously conjured up or imagined during my waking hours. And so I think one of the ways that we can build up the muscles in the alpha brain state is to use what's called the alpha countdown exercise. Basically, within the first 20 minutes after waking, you can count down backwards from 100 to 1. And what this does is it trains you to process things. It trains you to operate within your alpha brain state. If you practice this every day for a couple of months, you will start to gain a greater awareness and understanding of your subconscious. A couple other techniques which I like to use involve journaling, guided meditation. So I will often use guided meditations in the evening before I go to bed at night to get my thoughts programmed in the direction that I want it to have. Before I go to bed at night, I'll do everything that I can to relax my mind, visualize my ideal life, visualize what I want so that my subconscious mind can go to work finding the solutions while I sleep, creating that capacity in my subconscious mind that I want so that it will consciously direct my conscious life. Sorry if that last sentence didn't make much sense. So that it can consciously direct my waking life. And I think that this is one of the simplest and easiest ways to develop the intuition and to really understand it and to shape it. All right, so that's it for this lesson. And this is your homework. If you really feel like you are struggling in your life, if you have to push yourself too hard to get up out of bed, to get to work in the morning, and if you're facing too much internal resistance, ask yourself why. Why does life feel like such a struggle? Sometimes it's as simple as asking yourself these questions and looking deep inside to discover the life that you want to live and shape your life that way, and then go to work to program your subconscious mind to help you get to the life that you actually want. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next lesson.